Hello, I am Sharon Dickey. I am from Bryan, Texas, and I am a pastor's wife, and I currently serve on our district board, state, and now national board, to which I am truly honored. So today I will be giving you a devotion about service. Giving your time and resources to others out of love, not expecting anything in return. Matthew 14:13-21. When Jesus heard about it, he withdrew from there by boat to a remote place to be alone. When the crowds heard this, they followed him on foot from the towns. When he went ashore, he saw a large crowd, had compassion on them, and healed their sick. When the evening came, the disciples approached him and said, "This place is deserted, and it is already late. Send the crowds away so that we can go into the villages and buy food for themselves." "They don't need to go away," Jesus told them. "You give them something to eat." "But we only have 5 loaves and 2 fish here," they said to him. "Bring them here to me," he said. Then he commanded the crowds to sit down on the grass. He took the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and looking up to heaven, he blessed them. He broke the loaves and gave them to the disciples, and the disciples gave them to the crowds. Everyone ate and was satisfied. They picked up 12 baskets full of leftover pieces. Now those who ate were about 5,000 men, besides women and children. So we're going to be looking at baskets today. Your personal basket. So I want you to look into your basket. What is your focus? What do you have? Do you have time, resources, hospitality? Do you have a listening ear? Can you mentor younger women? Maybe you're a person of prayer. What do you not have? Maybe you don't have time or enough time. Maybe you don't have a whole lot of resources. Maybe you don't have patience for others. Maybe you're thinking, well, what do I have to offer to anyone else? Let's look at the disciples. Focused on what they did not have. Verse 15, when evening came, the disciples approached him and said, "This place is deserted, and it is already late. Send the crowds away so that they can go into the villages and buy food for themselves." So what did they point out? They pointed out a deserted location. They pointed out, it's too late. We don't really want to mess with this right now. We have no food. Send them away and get them to buy their own food. But what did Jesus focus on? Jesus focused on what they did have. In verses 16-21, they don't need to go away, Jesus told them. You give them something to eat. "But we only have 5 loaves and 2 fish here," they said to him. Verse 18, "Bring them here to me," he said. Then he commanded the crowds to sit down on the grass. He took the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and looking up to heaven, he blessed them. He broke the loaves and he gave them to the disciples. The disciples gave them to the crowds. Everyone ate and was satisfied. They picked up 12 baskets full of leftover pieces. Now those who ate were about 5,000 men, besides the women and children. So what did they have? They had 5 loaves and 2 fish. They could sit down on the grass and have their picnic. The prayer that Jesus offered and blessing the food, they had, after everyone was served, everyone was satisfied. And how many did he feed? He fed 5,000 men, not including whatever women and children were there. And not only that, there were 12 baskets of leftover pieces. That's a lot of leftovers. Now we're going to look at the basket of service. Everyone's basket's going to look different. A basket of service will change with your seasons of life. Obviously, different seasons of life. When you're younger and you are busy and maybe with young children, your basket may not be as full. When you get older, maybe, and your children are grown or they can do more for themselves, then maybe your basket will have more in it. Your season of life, maybe your children are grown and all you have in your empty nest, or whatever you want to call it, you can take on more responsibility and you can do more. 1 Corinthians 15:58. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, be steadfast, immovable, always excelling in the Lord's work, because you know that your labor in the Lord is not in vain. And it's sometimes, no matter what stage of life we're in, it feels like our basket is empty because we can't give anymore. We're exhausted, burnout, but we have to remember 1 Corinthians 15:58 and to be steadfast and to know that our work is not in vain. So I want you to think about some things. So I have heard this quote come from someone that said, I've done my time. You've done your time? Really? The Lord's not done with you. You're still here on earth. So we should be working for Him and serving Him. So no, our time is not done. Let your service be a verb. Let it be action, not just sitting. Do what you can to serve the Lord. And ask God what He wants you to do today. What would you have me do today? And spend some time thinking about that. And I hope you have a great day. Thank you.